Coincidence is God's way of staying anonymous. And if you want to make God laugh, tell him your plan. I couldn't have planned this better. Every race of people is here. Every gender, including folks in the highest ranks of leadership. Multiracial, multicultural, geography diverse. Got some cool music going. Have some kids, some young people who are doing private placement offerings, raising money in my lobby. And not raising $200, somebody raising $20,000. He didn't blink. He didn't blink. And he looked at me like, "And you gonna write a check and just talk?"
20 racks.
And this is what it's all about. This is why I founded the organization. You know, PhDs are good, but PhDs are better. And you know, we keep talking about the Republican Party and the Democratic Party. We need some folks to be talking about the Get It Done Party. We need folks to get it done and stop running their mouths all the time. And it's very simple, just help somebody. Don't use 20 words when 2 will do. Just help somebody. Like the young man who's the attorney who was the first volunteer here who brought us a partner, and the folks from Cabbage didn't want to brag on themselves, but I understand they actually, it's Cabbage, right? They
Yes.
put up the $3,000?
Yes.
So can I get an amen on that? That's a check. That's not just some niceties, that's a check. Come on, give him a round of applause. They paid me your food tonight. So, when I first came to this location, I was not happy. I was actually upset because Don McGrath is cheap.
Oh, yes.
And Don McGrath was the chairman and CEO 2 CEOs ago. It was Don McGrath and Michael Shepard, who I saw this afternoon for lunch, for coffee, and then Nandita. And Don McGrath, I'd asked Don for several millions of dollars to open, you can start laughing, to open a Hope Inside location. And Don said no. And so I'm unrelenting, I never give up. So to get me off his case, he found a way to say yes in a way that worked for him, which was, I'm gonna say yes, but I'm not gonna write you a check. I'm gonna build a bank branch and put you in it, and I'll just carry the cost, and you'll be my guest. And I said, look, sharecropping was over a long time ago. I need you to write me a check. And Don was right and I was wrong. This was a superior model of what I was doing. I opened up a bunch of other locations where people wrote me a check. And I ended up negative funding, meaning when my outflow exceeded my inflow, which meant my overhead was gonna be my downfall. I would end up running locations with what I call a big box of poverty, a flashing light that says poverty over here. And not only do poor people, not only do middle class folks don't wanna go to some place that screams poverty, poor people don't wanna go to some place that screams poverty. It's out of vogue. And so we had a model that was well-intentioned, but really wasn't working all that well. Meanwhile, we were getting awards, people saying we're fantastic and all that stuff, and I realized that we were underwhelming ourselves. And luckily a bank, and I won't name their name, E-Trade, they were giving us a couple $1 million a year with nobody's name on it, meaning it was unrestricted. And if you're not a nonprofit, you love unrestricted funding. And they gave us this money for 11 years, every year. And so we kept doing things that didn't make sense. Because somebody was giving me a check to do it. And we never challenged ourselves or doubled down or reimagined our business model. And luckily they stopped doing it. They had a crisis, a financial crisis of their own making. And there was really a joke going around E-Trade that the guy was trying to save $120 million, and he saw me on his line item at $2.5 million and said, whoever this is, can I exit out. And they said, oh, that's John Hope Bryant. And they said, look, he's key to our strategy for CRA. He said, well, I'll get a bad CRA rating for a while. I need this money. And he said, well, that guy's gonna call you. And he said, and he told his secretary, do not let that call through. Because he was told, if you take that guy's phone call or meet with him, he's gonna separate you from your wallet. So he made it his business not to meet with me. He never responded to anything with my name on it. And ultimately ended up talking to the general counsel, who was a nice guy, and they ended up giving us $1.6 million to transition out of the standalone offices. And my team, we had 11 Hope Inside locations. We were in 4,000 schools with our youth program. But the adult program only had 11 offices. Now, mind you, my mission is to eradicate poverty and to change the world. That's my mission. That's what I said we were going to do. And just to help you out here, you need 11 offices in a small community, not the whole country. And this was over 22 years. This was like my grand achievement. It was really embarrassing. And they weren't working. And so I got my team together. It was a Friday night. I got my team together on Saturday. They were all distressed, and I was excited because I had been liberated from myself. I luckily had failed. And now I was able to reimagine my future because rainbows only follow storms. You cannot have a rainbow without a storm first. So one of the really important lessons about business and entrepreneurship is be careful what you ask for, you just may get it. And if you get what you want, you may not want what you got. And that doesn't just apply to business, it applies to your relationships. If you get what you want, you met him at 11 o'clock at the club on Friday, and the lights were really dim. And you didn't run their credit. You think I'm kidding? you may not want what you find you got on Monday. You can fall in love with all kind of things, crooks, crazy people, all kind of people you can fall in love with at 11 o'clock on a Friday night. And by the way, ladies, I'm gonna give you some advice. So live your life 8 to 10. 1 to 5 is mediocrity. So the Bible suggests be hot or be cold. But if you lukewarm, I'll spat you out. Translation, even God isn't like mediocrity. 5 to 7 is entertainment. Ladies, that's a guy you date but you don't marry. Guys and ladies. So have fun, knock yourself out, just don't take it too seriously. And then 8 to 10 is excellence. It's not black excellence or white excellence or Latino excellence or Asian excellence. It's just excellence. Live your life as if you're an eagle, and eagles don't fly in packs. You've never seen a flock of eagles. An eagle is a high altitude bird. They raise their children differently. An eagle's nest is made of sharp little twigs. What's the message? You get big enough, you push up against the inside of that nest, you need to get up and go get a job. You cannot be 48 years old and living with your mama. That does not work. You need to be 48 years old and give it to your mama, not living with your mama. And then you got another kind of bird, and those are buzzards. And buzzards, I'm not looking at you for any reason. Buzzards are low altitude birds. Buzzards, they love packs. They love crowds, they love groupthink. They're always stepping on your head to elevate themselves. Always player hating, never play congratulating. Always have something negative to say about somebody. The glass is always empty, never half full. Can I get an amen?
Hey, hallelujah.
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 I mean, we're Black Baptist church.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. And then you got turkeys. And turkeys got wings and can't even fly. They're just profile. Trying to be something they are not. So watch who you hang around. Because if you hang around non-broke people, I guarantee you'll be the 10th. So when I was going through this process, most people were not going to understand the lens with which I was looking at this, but I didn't see this as a failure. I saw this as an opportunity for a rebirth. Because as long as somebody was giving me the money, I was going to keep doing the same thing that I was doing. So I looked around and I said, well, tell me which offices are working. And office number 11 wasn't working, office number 10 wasn't working. It's 8, 7, 5, 4, 4, 3, 2. The only office that was working was the office that Don McGrath forced down my throat and told me he wasn't gonna write me a check, that he would pay for it. Well, him paying for it made the economics work. And then I realized, when you're being run out of town, get in front of the crowd, make it like a parade. I decided, you know what, I'm actually not a nonprofit brick and mortar organization. That's old school, that's old technology. I'm a software company. And it's the software of human development. My job is to reintroduce you to your God-given potential. Don't choke, we don't have any insurance. We have limited, after 5 o'clock it all goes down. We give her water, somebody tap her on the back, make sure she's okay. If those of you who didn't think I had a sense of humor, I don't know if you're shocked, but this is me. So, man, I don't know what you're doing with that camera, but I mentioned all kind of people on there tonight. Is that live?
No, we're not live. We're going to edit.
I'm going to find you in the parking lot and take that. I am from Compton.
Hey, I'll airdrop it to you.
Don't let the suit fool you. So, this is what happens when I have sleep. So we looked at what we were doing and we decided that hope inside was the most important thing. It was like your iPhone, if you have one. You know, back when I was coming up, there was a Razor phone. Remember that?
Yeah. That was a little
Don't act
skinny
like you
one.
know what a Razor phone is.
Motorola.
Motorola. Razor phone. You flip it up, right? You flip it up. It was you were cool. Flip it up. Yeah, you know, it came in silver and
black.
Oh, it was hot. That's right. Pink. That's right. And when that phone broke, you had to take the phone back to the store and have them start doing surgery on the phone because the phone was the technology. But if your iPhone breaks, it doesn't really break. 99 times out of 100 is not the hardware because now that's not a phone, that's a mini computer. And all you have to do is go to your computer and plug it in and do a soft or hard reset, pull up an old backup, and update your software, upgrade the version of your software, and you're probably in business again. It's a computer, it's a new software. And so the iPhone is the housing, the least important part for the thing that actually makes it valuable, which is the software and the apps.
The iOS?
The iOS. So what you're experiencing now is our iOS. This is our software of human development. And Don McGrath showed me a new way to think. And then Michael Shepard came in. He could have killed it, you know, because insecure CEOs want to kill whatever came before them, no matter how beautiful it is. But God had his hand on this movement, and Michael was a good man. So he kept it and grew it. And we went through a range of staff people in the middle, all of which could have killed it at any moment in time. And later on, here comes Nandita, the first female, yet alone Indian CEO of a Fortune 500 bank in the whole country. And she says, we want to do more. And so when we decided to reimagine ourselves in November 2013, when we went broke in 2013 with the adult program. There's 3 divisions. There's a youth division, the adult division, and the emergency division of Operation Hope. We've invested about $2.5 billion in underserved neighborhoods, and including the guy who made this suit, Ryan Taylor, Drove Clothing, made the suit that I'm wearing, the suit and the shirt that I'm wearing, including, he even puts my signature on the cuff. So he makes every suit that I wear, and he's now doing $1.5 million a year.
Unmasking the Ghetto, the SOS. We live here with Leonard Stevens, the CEO and founder of Our TV, along with the late Chauncey Bailey, but this man right here is a very, very, very important philanthropist, entrepreneur, motivator, keynote speaker. Man, this man is a multi-million-dollar asset to the Bay Area. And I'm glad to have him on this documentary. So what we're doing right now, we're just basically shedding some light on what the Bay Area was like many decades ago. And I'm going to let, the maestro tell a story. Let him have it, man.
Okay, man. Well, thank you, LG. I appreciate you giving me this opportunity to kind of share with you what was going on late. I graduated from Oakland High School in 1979, and I played varsity basketball there. Proud to say that. Now I'm 56 years old, and I'm still playing ball. My point is that I'm very blessed to be able to do that, because when I was coming up, it was smack dab in the middle of the crack epidemic. And I'm not ashamed from my past. My past is make up pretty much who I am, and I've accomplished a lot of things, and if it wasn't for the grace of God, none of that would have been possible. And I'm giving all the glory and honor to him right now, because without him, I wouldn't have been able to do it. And that's how I came out of it. But how it got started was basically, from what I understand, there was a war, and the Salvadorians came through, and as part of the war, they were able to drop off drugs over here and infiltrate our communities. And Oakland, always been a place to where there's been hustlers, pimps, players. That's where we come from. That's what we know. So when it hit Oakland, it hit the streets really hard. But it started off because, see, back in the day, back in the 70s, it was real cool. We would walk, bus, ride, go to house parties. House parties, we would kick it and have fun. Some of the best times. And then we had our spots, the New Age Disco, raffles in San Francisco, Silks. Everybody know about Silks, stayed open late night, just being in the parking lot and the traffic was cool. But, so what happened was during that time when the crack epidemic hit, it was more like something social. It started off being something social. All right, well, let's, kick back and, let's check this out real quick, And then, folks would go and do their thing, try to mix it up. A couple of times, they didn't even know what they was doing. They saw it disappear. Y'all know what I'm talking about. They was cooking it up. It disappeared. They thought it was gone. They poured it out. Didn't know to just ice it down, and then it would come back fat in a rock, and they'd be good to go. So when folks figured that out, and then started mixing it right, and knew to let it come back like Charleston Blue, then basically they started doing that. And then we started smoking. It was just a little gradual thing at first. Let's do a couple before we go to Silks and kick it, right? So folks was doing that. It was a casual thing. But then they started mixing all kind of chemicals in it, and the Roski-Doski just wasn't Roski anymore. And they started putting all kind of stuff on it, and it wasn't cocaine, it was crack. And crack hit hard.
Wow.
So then, when it hit, it went from being a social thing to more of a penetration of the mind, a takeover thing, where you would go and you would do it, and you're like, yeah, let's just take a couple more bumps before we go out. So you still was thinking, and you had the intent at the time, oh, y'all gonna go to the club, y'all gonna kick it, But then, after the hits wore out, then that's when it would hit you. You were still chasing what you would never get again, that first hit. After that first hit, folks was like, ooh, man. And you chase it the rest of the night. And then we're going to the wee hours of the night. And then you be looking around, and then it got really bad for me. I'm not gonna lie. I was at a point to where I was still kind of, I was in school. I had a career that was starting in electronics. I would go to Silicon Valley. I was one of the few that knew that outside on the outskirts, it was just basically where you could go and you could make some things happen, because there wasn't a lot of jobs, career jobs happening around in the Bay. So I would just slide down to Silicon Valley. There was plenty of stuff that was starting out there. And I'd go there, and sometimes I'd come back, and what we used to refer to as Smoker's Holiday. That would be that Friday, on that paycheck. And sometimes I would be in a neighborhood in Oakland, which we used to refer to as Vietnam, right? That was right there on Seminary, between Foothill and between MacArthur, Vietnam. And sometimes I would be the only person that had that paycheck in my hand coming from San Jose, Santa Clara, and folks is around. Guns is present. And this is why I just have to thank the Lord. Because you know that while I'm sitting there chasing that first hit, that somebody could have just knocked me off, took my money, and would have smoked for the rest of the weekend and wouldn't have thought about me at all. There's a lot of people that have felt or fallen in these streets because of something just like that. You know, and so I'm just so blessed to be able to pull out of that situation. And how I did basically is that, you know, I had to give myself to the Lord and ask the Lord, man, please take that taste out of my mouth, because this is having me do things that, some of the things that I wouldn't even mention on TV. Like I said, I'm going to tell you the truth, but I can't tell you the complete truth because it took me to the depths of depths, and I'm not going to lie. I just say one day, everybody know me, I try to be dapper, and so I came home one day after a binge, and my mama was like, Darrell, that's my middle name, y'all don't know me. Like, you got on one red Converse and one blue Converse and a green leisure suit. What are you doing? And I was like, Mama, I don't know. I didn't because I was gone. I was really gone. So again, I had to just ask the Lord, take the taste out of my mouth. And he did. So in the 70s and the 80s, it was like that everywhere. A brother like me was blessed to be able to have the taste taken out of his mouth. So I started going to Center Hope. I went to Center Hope on Tuesdays, Fridays, twice on Sundays, and I was getting filled with the Holy Spirit. That helped me take the taste out of my mouth. And, you know, growing up in the town, you know, I'm not going to lie, I had a little history, a brush with the law, and I had, you know, a little, you know, an F on me. I had one, and basically going to Center Hope, I started and I applied in Silicon Valley, like I said, at IBM. And at IBM, and I was in 87. So it was coming out of the epidemic years for me. And then in 87, I applied there. And with that felony on me, I was like, nah, I ain't gonna get this. But, you know, God is capable of doing many things. So when IBM, and they did their background check, they didn't even see it. So I started working at IBM, the Big Blue, you know, one of the best companies in the world at the time, and got involved in quality assurance. I turned my life completely around. First thing I did basically was I was in market-driven quality, and I directed them toward the ISO 9000 certification. After 8 years working there and getting various suggestion awards, I turned around and started my own business, Audit Pro, in 1994.
Can you give us a brief, just quick, what is ISO 900?
ISO 9000 is a quality management system, and what it does is it assures that you have processes to produce a product. It's not a product certification. You can't put on whatever you have that this is ISO certified. But what you can say is that you have procedures, you have objectives, you have targets, you measure yourself, you audit yourself. You look at the results of that data, and you drive continuous improvement. And you're recognized when you get certified by a third party, which is a worldwide registrar, that says that you meet world-class quality standards, which qualify you to be able to ship products to customers that demand that type of certification. So I got, basically, to make a long story short, I worked at IBM for 8 years. One of my colleagues said, you know, you should start your own business. I said, okay, I'll start. And I ran a fictitious business name statement called Audit Pro. That ran in the newspaper for a month. Nobody had that name, so it was mine. And back then, this will tell you how long ago that was in 94, I said, well, let me go into the phone book and let me look for the companies, the yellow pages, and look for the companies that need this type of service. And I was fortunate to land Ashland Chemicals. They were my first client, and I had them for a year and a half as a client. They had a 3-shift operation. I wrote all their procedures. I created records for them. I facilitated meetings. I did all their training. And when the third-party registrar came in, they were granted certification. And they bought my first Mercedes, which they used to tease me because the color of that Mercedes was azure blue. And then when I told them that I had a car and the color was azure blue, they said, no, that's not azure blue, that's Ashland blue. We paid for that for you. And I said, yes, you did. And so from there was DMC Technology, Canary Communications, Transcom Technology Systems, Sanmina Corporation, ProWorks, Pro Services, MBS, Rocket, you name it, and there's more to that list that I have helped get certified in quality assurance standards known as ISO 9000, ISO 1345 for medical devices, and AS 9100 for aerospace companies. So I did all that, being able to unmask myself from the ghetto and be able to pull myself away and being able to turn my life around, giving myself to Christ. I moved forward with my life, and I'm happily now the CEO and president of Our TV, which I've been the CEO and president for 15 years of this television network that's for the people, by the people, and about the people, trying to provide information, education, and entertainment. And I thank you for giving me this opportunity to tell you what I did and what I went through in my testimony. And I want that to be something that all you youngsters and all you millennials and some of you baby boomers that may still be tripping to understand that this is what you got to do. As long as you can believe something, you can achieve it and you can conceive it if it's done and you are true to yourself. So never forget about your dreams. Pursue them all. The earlier you can find your niche in life, the better, which I did, because Otter Pro is about helping companies. Our TV is about helping people. And my thing is I want to help and offer because the Lord is the one that's doing all this. I'm just a vessel. And he's using me to be able to reach people, to connect dots, to build relationships, to be able to help our people, to be able to understand how important it is that we're in a village and the village is supposed to help one another.
So if somebody wanted to get in touch with you, won't you give us that information, because this will be shown worldwide. Believe me, I'm in the trenches with this. So give them your information, contact information. We'll put the numbers and the website at the bottom, but you can go on and give it to them verbally, man.
Sure. You can reach me. I'll give you my personal cell. You can call me at 510-913-9569. You can email me at auditpro. Remember that? auditprolds at comcast.net. That's auditpro, Leonard Darrell Stevens. auditprolds at comcast.net. And I'll gladly love to hear from you if you need some help in terms of something that you're going through, or if you need to have television broadcasting, or if you want to be a part of our network. Please give me a call and I'll be able to reach out, and what I have, I'll be able to share that with you. Thanks.
Oh, I can't do that because I got to go over here.
You go ahead, stand still, or go backward in life. Your objective should be to go ahead. Annual self-analysis will disclose whether advancement has been made and, if so, how much. It will also disclose any backward steps you may have taken. The effective marketing of personal services requires you to move forward even if the progress is slow.